Welcome now to Aidan Thomas, another member of the Observer. How good is this? Hayden and an Aidan. Is there any more names, more Notre Dame than Hayden and Aidan? Welcome, Hayden. Aidan, I should say.
Hey, Vic. How's it going? Thanks for having me
Very
on.
good. Give us a few details about yourself. What year, what major, where do you live, all that business.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a sophomore. I'm living in Dillon Hall currently. Currently, I'm a double major in business analytics and applied math and statistics. And I write for the Observer and I play for the Ultimate Frisbee team. So
That's
that's
cool.
kind of rundown of what I do here. Yeah.
Give us some background. What is campus life like right now? Because obviously Notre Dame was they're very aggressive about handling this early, and then they had to scale back a little bit. Where are we right now?
Yeah, so right now we're actually, they're just hoping. So we went online for 2 weeks after we saw a spike in all the cases. We're back down to under just a couple of cases a day right now. New cases popping up per day. So they're starting to kind of reopen facilities around campus in hopes that everything's going to be open by the weekend, so they can have the students safely in the stadium. So it's definitely been, it's a different atmosphere, but it's still possible to, so you just have to be careful. But there's the ability to still have a as normal as a campus life as possible.
I was just curious. Are you able to go to the Rock and shoot baskets or anything like that, or no?
So that's actually one of the things they've done is they've taken down all the rims off the basketball hoops.
Really?
All around campus. Yeah. So
wow.
I don't even on the outdoor courts, on the bookstore courts. So I'm not really sure if they'll plan on having those come back up. Right now, the gyms at the Rock and the new Duncan Center are both closed, but those should be opening up next week as well.
What about inter-hall football and all that business?
There's some recent announcements about that. I think they might be doing flag football this year instead of regular tackle football, but hopefully.
Aidan, go back, check out the archives from the 1991 Inter-Hall Football League, the semifinal. just give it a look when you get a chance. Hey, anyway, you're going to talk about that Duke defense, and it starts with this Chris Rumph guy who is like a preseason All-American candidate on many different sites. He looks like a pass rusher extraordinaire, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Chris Rumph, as far as the ACC go, he looks like an absolute stud, one of the best pass rushers in the country. I think last year he led the FBS, I should say, in pass rush win rate, which was just, what
does that mean?
It's essentially just the amount of times you beat your guy on the offensive line, the guy blocking you. And so he did that a little over 30% of the time, which was tops in the FBS. And he had 6.5 sacks, which is second on the Duke team. And so he's just an absolute monster on the defensive line and can definitely kind of change the course of a game with the big sack, forced fumble. So he's definitely going to be a guy that Notre Dame has to focus on Saturday.
I was listening to Brian Kelly's press conference on Monday, and Coach mentioned not only does Duke have preeminent pass rushers, but they got a couple stud corners as well, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Duke likes to call themselves, they're trying to name themselves Cheetah U because they've got, I don't really know where it comes from. I'm not saying I like it, but they like to call themselves Cheetah U because of how fast their corners are. And
I thought it meant we're cheaters. We're cheetahs.
Oh,
I see. I get you now.
Yeah. So they're going with Cheetah U because of how fast their corners are, and they consider themselves, and a lot of people consider them to have one of the top secondaries in the country. They returned pretty much all of their top performers from last year. Their top 4 guys in passes, broken up passes, are all returning. They returned, I think, 7 of their 9 interceptions. So they've got a lot of experience. They're all juniors and seniors. I'll be starting for them. So they're definitely going to be a tough unit to beat in the secondary.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, Aidan. I mean, they're so good against the pass, right? They're a top 10 team against the pass, but that allows Ian Book to run the ball a little more, and he had a great time running the ball against them.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ian Book did really that was a huge game for him last year, kind of turned the corner on the Notre Dame season, had a great second half starting with that Duke game, and he ran for, I think, 130 yards. And that was something Duke struggled with, again and again was containing mobile quarterbacks. And so that'll be something that that Book will look to use and hopefully use play action to get some of his new playmakers involved, along with, some of their young running backs, because that's going to be an interesting is how they can get that running game going outside of Book will be definitely key to attacking the Duke defense.
So what is their defensive system? I was talking to Ryan Harris about it a little bit, and they run a floater type guy. What would you call what they do defensively?
Yeah, so what they call it just a 4-2-5, essentially four on the line, two
Yeah.
linebackers, and then like they kind of have kind of like a floater safety almost with like five guys in the secondary, which does make it tough to take those deep shots
Sure.
because they've got those athletic matchup cornerbacks and then safeties that are just taking away a lot of space and clogging up the middle. And so they really challenge people to beat them, because it's ironic that Duke's offense has become kind of a dink and dunk kind of system, because that's what they try to challenge opposing offenses is like, if you're going to beat us, it's not going to be with, 2 or 3 20-yard passes. You're going to have to, claw out 5 or 6 yards of play and try to like work your way down. Yeah. And so it's definitely a unique defensive system that they run that can be effective if everyone's operating at full skill level.
I was wondering about this too, Aidan. Football is such a vital component of campus life at Notre Dame. I mean, so much revolves around game days on Saturdays.
Absolutely.
What's it like among the students now? I mean, you can't tailgate, obviously. You can go to the games, but I mean, is there still as much hype for each game given what's transpired?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see, especially on Saturday, just kind of, it's always, last year I remember waking up for my, first game on campus, and there was already music blasting in the dorm, people outside. It was like 8 a.m. for like a 2 p.m. game, and people were already going insane for it. And so I'm going to be very curious to see if that hype is somewhat similar. Obviously, there's going to be no tailgating. Personally, like the Dillon dorm, they're doing like a game day, kind of like a yard games and cookout event in the morning into the early afternoon. So trying to like simulate the tailgate experience as much as they can. And so it will be very interesting to see what the hype level is like. I mean, I'm pretty hyped to be in the stadium on Saturday, so I'm hoping the rest of the student body gets to that level as well.
Well, thanks. I can see your hype right now, and I wish I were there with you. Aidan, that's awesome information. Appreciate you being with us. We'll do this again on a weekly basis, so you guys keep up the great work. And if you have a chance, 1991, look up the Soren versus Carroll football game, and if you can find some video, I'd greatly appreciate it.
So maybe a hype video next week, Soren versus Carroll.
Please do. Thank you, buddy.